Hello and welcome to Social Work 572 Forensic Social Work. I am Dr. Brown and I'm so excited to work with you all this semester and get to know new faces and get to see old faces again. We are going to use this time together in the video this week to really sort of help you kind of get acclimated to the syllabus, kind of understanding the flow of the course, and then also orienting you to our Canvas shell. So we're going to go ahead and dive in. The syllabus looks like this. Hopefully you have located it. If you're watching the video, that means you've made it at least a few steps into the Canvas shell, which is great. I'm not going to read through the entire syllabus to you because I know you certainly can do that on your own, but just going to sort of highlight the important pieces that I want to make sure we're all on the same page about. So my email address is right here, browna53. Please make sure you communicate with me through the semester. If anything comes up at all that you're confused about, not sure about, I'm happy to meet with you. You are not required to meet with me outside of class, but I'm certainly happy to do so if you start to feel stuck or just not sure about the content or the material. All right, so let's go ahead and scroll down just a little bit. I'm going to let you read through how we are compliant with accreditation in this class, the course objectives. I'm going to start here and talk about the textbook. So the textbook actually looks like this. I'm always so bad at doing this. Let's see. There we go. Yeah. So there's your textbook. And you do need to purchase this textbook. There is an e-copy available as well. So, you can look into which venue you want to read it, whether it's hard copy or e-copy, but you do need the textbook for this class. The only other thing that you have to purchase for our class is either What's Eating Gilbert Grape or This Boy's Life. You will see in a few minutes that you get to pick one of those movies to watch to complete an assignment. You can stream those online anywhere between $2.99 and $3.99 if you look it up like on YouTube, Amazon, iTunes, etc. Or you can also check out your local library, see if they have it for free. And certainly if you own a copy, that's fine too. So that's really the only two purchases you need for this class. So let's go ahead and talk about expectations of students. And before we really dive into anything else, I want to give you a heads up. We are talking about forensic social work, and so because of the very nature of this topic, we are going to cover things that have a trauma theme. And trauma means, anything that's traumatic that triggers us in a way that is unmanageable. And so I want to make sure that as we're working through the material of the course, if the course material starts to trigger you in any way and you start to feel like it's an unmanageable trigger, please reach out to me. I am happy to work with you, happy to provide, an alternate plan for you to be successful in this class. But because we are fully online, I'm not going to know that you're struggling unless you reach out to me. So please make sure that you do communicate with me. Certainly the goal is not to traumatize anyone in the course content. So please make sure you reach out to me if you start to become triggered in an unmanageable way. Certainly we're going to all have things that trigger us. If you're able to manage it, then that's great. That's what helps you kind of learn and grow and move forward as a developing social worker. But certainly, if it's unmanageable, that's okay too. Please reach out and we'll work through it together, okay? Also, like I said, this is a fully online class. It's offered in the accelerated 7-week format, which means we do have a lot of work to do each week, but I promise as long as you show up and do your job as far as the reading and working through the course materials, we are going to work through all of this together. So take a deep breath. It's going to be just fine. All right, let's look at expectation of students. So you're expected to spend 5 or more hours a week in this class, logging in a few times a week, double checking the announcements page, your emails, etc., making sure you're staying on top of things. You're expected to open and complete all readings each week and to illustrate what I call netiquette. So I want you to treat this course just like you would a face-to-face course in that, please be respectful and tolerant to your peers, to me, when we start to have communication around various topics that might be hot topics for folks. It's very important that you are respectful to everyone in the classroom, whether we're face-to-face or online. So it's your responsibility to turn in all weekly and core assignments on time. We know this. I will say that, I'll get to that in a second. Okay, so the class essentially is made up of 3 main assignment components. Okay, so the first assignment component are what I call weekly participation activities. These activities are designed for you to synthesize and integrate the material that we cover each week into some sort of at the end of the week assignment that I have created and that you will get individual feedback on. This is to make sure that you are really getting the material, because if you get lost in week 2, you're really going to be lost by the time we get to week 5. So it's to help you kind of check that for yourself individually. And so I'll be in there every week giving you feedback on these weekly participation activities individually. So each week begins on a Monday and ends on the subsequent Sunday. So for example, our first week together starts on the 16th of March and then ends on the 22nd. So each week, your weekly participation activities and any core assignments, which we'll get to in just a second, they're all due by that Sunday before 11:59 p.m. So the weekly participation activities, you earn 50 points each week towards them. And at the end of our class together, you are required to complete 6 of the 7 of them. And so that is 300 points, essentially, of your total final grade. The good thing about the weekly participation activities is you do not have to necessarily get the content correct to earn the points. As long as you complete the assignments and, it's evident that you have used critical thinking and that you're really trying to complete the assignment in its entirety, you will earn full credit for these activities. And then I'll give you feedback to make sure you're headed down the right direction. All right. Then you have 2 core assignments. So that makes up our 3 sort of assignment components. So you have the weekly participation activities that happen every week, and then you have 2 core assignments. The forensic social work special populations analysis, and then the writing assignment. You are more than welcome to work ahead on these, but I definitely encourage you to make sure that you integrate all of the weekly materials that we cover up until the week that it's due, because I will continue to give you additional resources and materials to kind of help you complete these assignments. So certainly I think it's a great idea to start a first draft, get work going on them, get a good outline started, and then make sure you're integrating all the content we cover through the due date before you submit it. Also, I'll show you here in just a second, but on Canvas, all of the grading rubrics are already posted. I highly encourage you, once you have completed the assignment based on the instructions here in the syllabus, pull that grading rubric up, double check that you have answered every single component so you know exactly how you're going to earn your points. All right. I will return your core assignments graded within 1 week of their due date, unless I have some sort of unforeseen emergency or circumstance. But it is very, very important that you look at the feedback I give you and integrate that before you complete the next assignment. So please make sure you are doing that. Late assignments. So all assignments are due on their due dates and times. Surprise, surprise, right? They're penalized 10% each day that they're late. Because we are in a 7-week format, anything that's more than 48 hours late will not be accepted. Having said that, I understand that you all are people outside of our classroom together. And so I'm more than happy to work with you if you communicate with me prior to the deadline. So if we're approaching a deadline and you're really feeling like you're not going to be able to get something turned in on time, then please just send me an email. I'm more than happy to talk with you, work on, an extension if at all possible, as long as you communicate with me prior to the cutoff time. If you don't talk with me before the due date, then unfortunately my hands are tied and you'll have to earn either the 10% penalization and or a 0. So as long as you're communicating with me ahead of time, then I'm more than happy to work with you on an extension. And I really do mean that. So please reach out if you need that. Make sure for both core assignments, you are writing them in APA format. Like I said, you're not required to meet with me outside of class, but I'm happy to sit down with you if you need that. So please don't hesitate to reach out. All right. So I've kind of already talked through all of this. I do my best to respond to emails within 24 hours. If you send me an email, you haven't heard back from me, and it's Monday through Friday, then please feel free to email me again after the 24-hour period. I do take the weekends to really try to be with my family and model the self-care that we always preach to you all. So if it's Saturday or Sunday, you'll please give me until Monday to get back with you, but I will get back with you. All right, so core assignments, you have 2, the forensic social work special population analysis, and then the writing assignment. So I just want to draw your attention to a couple things. I'm not going to read through this because you can do that. But this is a 2-part assignment, so please make sure you do both part 1 and part 2. And then also, we are a combined class, so we have both undergraduate and graduate students together in our class. So undergraduate students, you are going to be completing this side of the table. Let's try that again so it doesn't, no, stop that. You're going to be completing this side of the table. I don't know why it keeps highlighting that, but you're answering these questions based on one special population or setting chapter in the book. And then for my graduate students, you all are going to, you all are going to be doing this on 2 of them. Okay, so since I can't get it to cooperate, which I'm very sorry about, okay, right here, graduate students, you'll be doing this times 2. So you'll be picking 2 chapters, so you'll be answering these questions twice, once for each, one set for each chapter. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. And then there's a second part, which everyone's going to be doing the same thing, and that's a post to a discussion board. So this part 1, you'll be answering in a Word document and submitting it to Canvas, and then part 2, you'll be posting to a discussion board. The second assignment is a writing assignment, and again, there's a difference between graduate and undergraduate requirements. So you will choose to watch either What's Eating Gilbert Grape or This Boy's Life, and then you'll be answering the questions based on that movie. So if you're an undergraduate student, you'll be doing this side. If you are a graduate student, you will be doing this side. Okie doke. The only other thing I want to draw your attention to in the well, not the only other thing, but is the class schedule. This schedule really shows you what we're covering each week and then what's due that week. So you'll see your core assignments are listed here as well as your weekly participation. So make sure you kind of keep this handy because that'll help you stay on top of things for class. All right, so this is our Canvas shell. I know your view looks just a tad bit different than mine, but I'm going to draw your attention to just a couple of things. So the modules tab is something you'll be using a lot of because that's where all of our weekly content is. Each week is already there, uploaded, ready to go. I do have it locked so that you work through the content week by week. That is, again, because the material is sequential. So if you're lost in week 2, you're really going to be lost in week 5. So I make sure that we kind of work through the material one step at a time to make sure we're all getting it and being able to move forward successfully. So if you're watching this, that means that you have successfully navigated to at least the home page of the course shell, which is amazing. And then, like I said, each week, you'll have all of your content here. So you won't be able to see week 2 yet, but it's there ready to go for you. The other tab you're going to use a lot of are the assignments tabs. Now mine is grouped by the type of assignment. Yours will automatically show up by date. If you want it to be grouped like all your participation activities and then your core assignments up here on your screen, there is a organized by date, organized by group button. If you click the group button, it'll do this same view. And going back to the modules super quick, I just want to show you each week I do have reminders about upcoming assignments, and then all of your weekly participation activities are linked into the modules. So you don't have to go to the assignments tab, but you certainly may if you don't want to use the links inside of the modules. And then the discussions tab. So we have 3 discussion boards for this semester. They are already in there and labeled appropriately. So the one that's associated with your core assignments there, ready to go. So all of those things are uploaded for you. And then I told you those grading rubrics were in there. So let me pull up the first core assignment, which is the special populations analysis. You'll see the grading rubric for undergraduates are right here. And then for graduates is here. So make sure you're also pulling up the correct grading rubric. Otherwise, you'll be super confused. All right, I think that's about it. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm so excited to teach this class and to get to know you all and get to work with some folks again. So please, at any point in time, if you need me for anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. And I'm just so looking forward to a wonderful semester with each of you. And let's have a great semester. And again, please reach out if any of the content starts to trigger you in any way that's not manageable. I'm happy to work with you. All right, thank you so much, and welcome to week 1 of Social Work 572.